My limitations are the region in Hollywood. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that I could have it all. But then God tells us, have a seat. Because even though villains are villains, they're always the heroes in their story. Villains don't know that they're villains.
If there's anybody watching who wants to go into acting, because you know, it's not an easy journey. You've been in it for a long time, and there are ups and downs, you know, and all of that. But some people do give up along the way because, you know, all sorts of reasons, which...
Everybody's got their journey.
Everyone's got their journey, you know, but for those ones who are really serious about the acting journey and they want to get into it, what advice would you give to them? Hey everyone, welcome back to a1000facesProject.com. Thank you so much for joining me, us. If this is your first time, you're not going to be disappointed. Please press the subscribe button, press the like button, which I know you will because you are in for a treat. Okay, so A Thousand Faces is A Thousand Faces is a project that I started just to inspire you guys out there through my photography, interviews, and so many other things that I do. And one of my biggest dreams is for you, you know, me, all of us to go out there and just do that God-given talent that you've been given to. You know, don't sit on it. You have it. Search deep down, get it, go out and bless other people. So today I've got an old friend, but he's Mr. Big Shot now. But I've got Rik Aby here, and Rick, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I always say this. I feel like people can introduce themselves better than I can. So
yeah,
introduce yourself.
But she looks better on camera, obviously.
No.
All right.
No.
Yeah. So, hey everyone, my name is Rik Aby. I've worked in the entertainment business as an actor for 23 years. I've been very blessed to be able to represent the UAE where I'm born and raised, and Sudan, my country of birth, for 23 years in Hollywood, in Bollywood, in the region, and recently in Nollywood with our upcoming mega film classic, The Goat Life.
Wow, he is a busy man. Not only is he busy, but I'm so proud of you, Rick, because
thank you so much.
I remember when I lived in Abu Dhabi when I first met Rick, you know, you were in the acting thing, but now it just seems like you've just gone zoom. Okay, so I guess my first question to you is, what led you into acting?
Okay, so at 9 months, I learned how to walk and talk, and then I was doing impressions of people. During those days, they had 8-track tapes. And I've always loved entertaining and telling stories and making people laugh. And then shortly after, flash forward a few years after my brother was born, and then, you know, we were also doing 8-track tapes and stuff and imitating people. And so the first time I was professionally on the stage was when I was in the second grade doing opera, part of a choir. Flash forward a few years later, here we are.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. So apart from acting, you sing as well. What other tricks do you have up your sleeve?
Okay, yeah. Oh, I sang. I mean, I sang as a soprano. I can do choreography. I mean, you know, I've done fight choreography. I got a chance to work with one of the top choreographers in Bollywood, in one of the highest rated Netflix titles of last year. It was #1 in India and #2 around the world. It's called Chor Nikal Ke Baka. But one of my dreams is to be I mean, at least for Broadway. I mean, this is one of my other dreams is to be the next Black Phantom.
So you mentioned that you've worked in Hollywood, Bollywood, Mollywood. I didn't hear Nollywood in there.
Not
Nollywood
yet.
is one of the fastest growing movie industry. So
not yet. I do have a few friends from Nollywood. There's a brother. His name's Cheta. Now his story was really awesome. He did one of the biggest films to come out like as a Netflix original. I think he was one of the first.
Okay.
young guy. So he wrote, directed, and produced this piece. It's called Payday. Maybe you've seen it. And then you had another brother, Oba X. So he's doing the biggest Nollywood production that's including children and the biggest musical ever. It's Afrobeats musical. It's Afrobeats version of Oliver Twist. How crazy is that?
Oh, that's going to be so good.
I know he's working on it currently as we speak. And yeah, I can't wait to tap into there. You mentioned that there's a vacuum for villains. And that, I'd be a good fit.
You would be. You would be. I mean, I love how far Nollywood has come. I mean, they've worked hard. They've done so much. Yeah. They're on Netflix now. They're on Amazon Prime. So I think now is time to tap into the industry and get in there.
There's a few projects upcoming, and I had my ear to the ground. And before the decks used to include, Hollywood names, Bollywood names, and now also, names from Korea, but also up there in the same vein, in the same stratosphere, are Nollywood names.
And I really applaud them.
They're nothing to sneeze at.
I really applaud them for what they're doing, So we're going to talk about your movie that's just come out. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this interview with you is for you to inspire anyone who's out there who has a dream to do something and they're just sitting on it. So we'll talk about that later. But right, so you've worked, like you said, for 20 years in the movie industry.
Okay, so 23.
23 years.
Yeah, give or take.
Okay, so what's your biggest achievement?
Wow, so many. I think probably the biggest achievement of anyone's career would be something that would take them the longest to put together. So I have to say, one of the things on my wish list to becoming an actor, from what I believe you should tick off while pursuing acting, is Shakespeare. I got a chance to do that. And sold out shows and doing biopics. Not everyone can do biopics, and I feel very fortunate and blessed by God to be able to do that. So I would dare say the biggest the biggest notch on my belt, my career belt, has to be The Goat Life, because it's a soon-to-be classic, or is a classic. It just hits all the right notes. It's a biopic based on a true story, and it talks about survival and struggle, everything that we go through, and it's really inspirational. The key person in there went through a lot in his journey in order to try to make a better life for his family. And along the way, he finds a couple of unscrupulous characters, namely yours truly, right? In the deserts of Arabia, right? So the film is called The Goat Life. It's a novel, an award-winning novel by South Indian Malayali author, Benjamin, right? And it was adapted by, ultra, I don't know what to call him. He's an ultra legend. He's a mega legend. He's an auteur. He's an actor's director. He's a director's director in Blessy, Mr. Blessy. I
wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
I always think about this. So as an actor, you're given a script and you see how important it is, like this movie. It's the journey of this person.
Yes.
And you want to do justice to it, obviously, because, you want to reach as many people as possible with your story. How do you get into character? Now, you played a villain.
Yes.
And that cannot be easy. That can't be an easy character to get into. So how do you prepare for that? How do you mentally get to that person who is this horrible person on screen?
It's kind of ironic, because even though villains are villains, they're always the heroes in their story. Villains don't know that they're villains, or there's maybe a small part of them that's always trying to legitimize whatever they're doing. So as I mentioned before we started this interview, my main thing, and I think Benedict Cumberbatch spoke about this as well, is empathy.
Right.
For me, I have to fall in love with the character. So as rancid, as nasty as the character is, they're not a villain in their story. Like, I'll tell you the story about my character, Jasser, who's the junior Kafil. So in the 90s, there was a bunch of people who made a living selling sports enhancers called Hapticon. So my uncle, who's the lead villain, the Kafil, which means sponsor in Arabic, played by Omani legend Mr. Talbot Belushi, was actually leading the police away. So there was a sting operation that happened. There was an ambush. So he was leading the police away with the contraband. And at the same time, my character was driving his mom and dad away from danger. So what ended up happening was it started raining and there was a thunderstorm. And then when he heard the sound of thunder, he lost control of the car and the car crashed right into a palm tree.
Right.
And so, you know, he got up and his parents are trapped underneath this pickup truck, and there is a leaking gas tank that's about to be ignited. And so he was so petrified, my character, that he could not move. All he needed to do was it was that split second that he needed to run and save his parents. But he didn't. He got scared because of the thunder. And then by the next thunderbolt, it ignited the leaking gas, and the car blew up, and he had to watch his family die right in front of his eyes. And so the motivation for his character is that he's let the tribe down. Right. He's let his uncle down, who's his next of, and he's his, you know, he's the equivalent to his dad. And so he has to give out this bravado that he is that tough, but he's really a broken young man. And so that kind of empathy I try to bring into the script.
It's just legendary.
Legendary.
Right, guys, you have to go watch this. I want to see what legendary is, because I've never described a movie like that. I watch movies a lot. So guys, please go out there, support Rick, go and watch it, support the cast. You know, a lot of money has gone into this, time, you know.
Years.
Yes, blood, sweat, and tears. So let's go out. You know, we're in the Gulf. Let's support this movie. Please, please, please go out there and support. So if there's anybody watching who wants to go into acting, because you know, it's not an easy journey. You've been in it for a long time, and there are ups and downs, you know, and all of that. But some people do give up along the way because, you know, all sorts of reasons, which
everybody's got their journey.
Everyone's got their journey, you know. But for those ones who are really serious about the acting journey and they want to get into it, what advice would you give to them when those tough times come?
Totally. Well, one of the things that has helped me and helped me change the way I look at the business is we all know what we want out of the business. But it's not about what you want. It's about what can you offer to the business, right? And while you're on your journey and you're doing what you love, you'll realize that you cannot quit because it's not about you. And that's what you'll soon realize. It was never about you. You're just about to inspire someone to become something that, you know, would better not just your journey, but like humanity's journey, right? So it's not up to you. If you quit, then the story would never be written. If Najib, the character in the novel, whose real name is Shakur, and we thanked him for this, for the life that he's lived, had he given up, we wouldn't be able to tell you this amazing story about survival and struggling. You can never give up. And if it's the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning and the last thing you think about when you go to sleep, do it. Our thought of what we want is limited. My limitations are the region in Hollywood. Never in my wildest dreams would I ever think that I could have it all. But then God tells us, have a seat, my servant. Let me show you what I can do. Yes, you can have it all. Our scope is limited. God's scope is infinite. That is one thing I came about from this movie and my career.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. So I like the fact that you're saying it's not all about you. You have
Never
to
was.
think about the bigger picture.
Never was.
And just persevere. Go out there and just do it. Start.
Yes, God has chosen you, as well as a number of other artists, to bring out his message. How do we know about the Kushites? How do we know about the Igbo culture? How do we know about a lot of things? Through artists. Artists are the preservers of culture, the preservers of civilization. So every time you do something, even this piece that we're doing right now, years later when we're gone under the dust, they're gonna dig out and then probably find it in a USB maybe, right, or a hard drive, and know that there was a civilization that actually resided here, a civilization that actually happened, a civilization that actually happened in 1001 Faces. And this is the queen of the civilization.
With a legend. With a legend. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I've learned so much from interviewing you, Rick, and thank you so much
Thank you.
for
Thank
being a
you.
part of 1,000 Faces.
Always a pleasure.
What would you say about the 1,000 Faces? Just let the people know. Like, why should they join the community?
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Not why should you, why wouldn't you?
Oh.
You're in this pantheon of people that are the best in their craft. There's so much to learn from everybody that has hand-tailored their own career, not just in the arts, but in science, in business, in anything that is relevant to everybody. It caters to everybody. Why would you not, sign up with 1,000 Faces? Why would you not? No, seriously, why would you not? And there's so much to learn from everybody else's journey in order to enrich your own. So what are you waiting for?
I tell you,
Seriously.
I'm learning a lot more because I do this so to inspire, other. But I'm just sat interviewing people and just been inspired. Like, wow, this is amazing. I never thought of it like that. So this is incredible. It's incredible.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? So if anyone wants to get in contact with you, or are you on Instagram or anything like that?
So I'm on Instagram on Rik Aby, RIKABY1, and also on Facebook and on LinkedIn and all that sort of stuff. If you just go on Google, just type RIKABY, you'll find me on IMDb and everywhere. For official interviews and for official projects and contracts, you can get in touch with my agency in Anorama. No, but that's another story for another day. Yeah, they're an amazing agency. I'm probably the second one in the roster representing the UAE, and second one representing the UAE, and probably the only one representing Sudan. Also, I would strongly suggest you reach out to Mr. Ivor Gracias. He was key in getting me the script that, in his words, changed my life. And also had fun with agent that came along afterwards that worked with me on this project, Miss Ursula Manvatkar. But yes, get in touch with Mr. Ivor Gracias. And if you're in the UAE, there's a wonderful website called Acting in the UAE. It's probably the biggest database you'll have out there.
So before we go, one last thing from you, very quickly. What's next for you now?
What's next for me?
Yeah.
Well, after Goat Life, there's a bunch of projects I can't really talk about. But, you can find the upcoming projects that I can't talk about on the website on IMDb. During the time that we released Goat Life, there's also my first Amazon series with Syrian heavyweights. It's called The Board, written and directed by Mr. Khozan Akko. So that's awesome. That's on Amazon in MENA. And then, as I mentioned, this cop series, and then a bunch of other projects.
That you can talk about.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sporting the mustache. Hint, hint. Stay tuned.
So please do go and support Rick. He's giving you so many ideas of what you can do if you're in the region, internationally, wherever you are, what you can do. You have to start, take some steps and just keep going and you will get there. You will be a legend like Rik Aby over here, you know? So please do keep going. Don't stop, never stop, and just get out there. Bless somebody with your skill, bless someone with your talent. It's not about you.
Never was.
I'm dropping some hoodies soon. Please support that. And we're just trying to build a community here of amazing people, showcase their talent, their gifts, so that you can go out and showcase yours. Thank you so much and have a good evening or good afternoon or good morning.
See you.
Bye.